Hey Internet, I'm very excited about this one today. Today we're unboxing the Analogue Duo, the new console by Analogue, makers of FPGA consoles. They've done the NES, Super NES, the Genesis. They've got the very popular Analog Pocket device, and now we have got the Analogue Duo. Very excited about it. The Turbo Duo back in the day was always my favorite console. I loved it, got it the day it was launched. Very excited to have this version of it because the Turbo Duo was also notoriously fragile. It's kind of just a matter of time before you're gonna have to get it recapped. The lens might go out, that sort of thing. So it's also a very expensive console these days. So it's cool that we have this option now to play it on modern TVs. So I just got it in the mail today. I already took the plastic wrap off to make our lives a little bit easier, but it comes in this really sleek box. Which if you bought an analog device before, you know they come in really cool, just simplistic boxes. You got the UPC on the bottom. All right, should we do it? Should we get to it? Let's unveil this sucker. Oh, come on. Here we go. Voila. It's inside of the box. There it is. Stays true mostly to the form factor of the original Turbo Duo and PC Engine Duo. I got the black one because that's what I grew up with, and I'm a sucker for nostalgia, but I love that it's got the little wavy lines around the side. It's got pretty much the same form factor here. It's got the little window there. So let's take this out. All right, below, looks like we've got our inputs, the plug, etc. So let's leave that off to the side for a moment and get to the real important thing. This sucker. Look at that. Very nice. So instead of the front flap, we've got just to kind of insert it that way. Same with the CD drive. There's no button to open it. Instead, we slide it in there. Let's get a little closer. Got our eject button. Our power button is now a push button instead of a switch. That's cool. Let's take a look at the side. So here, got the small input for the original controllers. Got the headphone jack and volume dial, just like on the original. Very cool. On this side, nothing. On the back, got our power USB-C. Got two USB ports for USB controllers. Not really crazy about them being on the back because that means you'll have to probably drape your controller over the machine, but you know, whatever. HDMI out and SD card slot for firmware updates. As of today's recording, there's already a 1.1 update out there with some improvements. So eventually save states, and who knows, maybe a jailbreak at some point. So you get your fingerprints on there, look at that. And then this bottom is, it's all rubber. So it's one big foot, I guess. Very cool. Yeah, this thing is really nice looking. I like it a lot. It's got the Analog logo there. Over here, this is HDMI, 2.4 and Bluetooth for the controllers. So that's a good segue. Well, actually, before we talk about the controllers, let's have a little fun. Let's maybe do some comparisons. So we will start with, get this framed here, the actual Turbo Duo. So there it is. You see the differences? We don't have that. This guy doesn't open. Over here, Those are some significant differences. Got some vents over here, which we don't have here. Got the little squiggly line there, nothing there. Just smooth. So let's put them on top here. As you can see, it's quite a bit smaller. Wouldn't quite call it mini, but definitely a good size difference. So, speaking of mini, let's have a look at it compared to the TurboGrafx Mini. That is a nice companion, I think. They look pretty nice next to each other. That looks pretty good. So, since we're having a good time, let's maybe show it next to the actual TurboGrafx, which sadly is a little dirty. Forgive me. But it's slightly smaller than the original TurboGrafx. All right, let's keep this party going. Speaking of small, how about PC Engine? You just can't top that sucker for size, right? Look at that. Still a tiny, adorable little console. And then finally, let's just keep it going. Move this out of the way. Put this beast next to it. How does it compare to the SuperGrafx? Well, now we know. Am I the first one on the internet to compare it to a SuperGrafx? Let's say I am. It'll give me some clout, which we all need. All right, so let's talk a little bit about controllers. Put this guy right back in the middle where he belongs. Okay, so from what I've read and what I know, the Analogue Duo is intended to be played with this, the 8-bit DO TurboGrafx PC Engine controller. I've got the 2.4 version, and apparently it's got a receiver built right inside, so it'll just, bam, detect it. That's pretty cool, huh? Speaking of controllers, we saw the port for the original Turbo Duo controller. This guy. So let's take a look at that port, or that plug. Nice and small. Fits right in the side there. Also fits is the original PC Engine controller. Same port, same plug. So that should work nicely in there. Now, as old school Turbo fans know, the controller for the TurboGrafx, this guy, had a fatter plug. Why? Nobody knows. See the difference? So if you are buying or in the market for an original controller for your new Analogue Duo, you are going to want to make sure it's got the smaller plug. So you're going to want to watch, or you want to grab the Turbo pad, or the Duo pad, sorry, the Turbo Duo pad, or a PC Engine pad, or you're going to need one of these, an adapter from big to small. Same with the Turbo stick, also dirty, forgive me. This guy also has the fat plug. So, for these guys, the Turbo pad, and the Turbo stick, you're either going to need an adapter or you're out of luck. Also an option are these USB pads that they released right around the same time as the TurboGrafx and PC Engine Minis a couple years back. So these guys have USB, which will plug right into the back. And turns out, as of the other day, as I mentioned before, they released and I don't have it handy unfortunately, but they released version 1.1, the update to the operating system, which allows you now to use the Neo Geo mini pads. So you'll be good to go if you have one or two of those. So here it is. I'm very excited to try this out. I've heard there are some issues at the moment, some compatibility issues, and save states aren't quite ready yet. So let's hope for a firmware release soon to take care of all that. But in the meantime, I plan on enjoying this as much as I can. Thanks for watching, guys. MojoMenace.com. Check it out. Bye.